1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
I told you I was born ready. You don't have to ask me if I'm ready. Let's get the show on the road here.
You were born under a bad sign.
I was born a coal miner's daughter, and
You
things
did.
really changed. It's Thursday with Mike and John got it going on. Mike Marino, John King, the two guys that want to give you $1,000 Christmas cash.
Right.
That's us. The cash for you.
Right, that's what we're doing.
December
And
3rd.
You can see the wad.
Our wad has been posted on Facebook.
It sure has. You can see it there.
Yeah.
It's actual cash, fella.
That money was burning a hole in our pocket.
Yeah, so we want to give it to you for Christmas.
Parents ever say that to you when you were a kid? Is that money burning
Yeah.
a hole in your pocket because
You
you,
know-
got the money and you want to go spend it?
And that's one of those phrases that I then said to my kids. Was that money burning a hole in your pocket? And you're like, who said that? Dad? What? Oh, that was me.
Came right out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
It happens that
yeah,
way.
all right.
So details are coming up on that. Also, a little bit later on in the show, The Less You Know, with Rich Perlberg.
And we know way less.
He's going to talk to us about billiards.
Is he?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Rich has got in store.
I think he's going to be talking about the new alignments, we'll say, in Lansing.
Astrology.
Yeah. We're going to have a color primer.
Okay. Is Rich going to get out and talk more?
New colors in charge. And,
Okay.
so,
All right.
all right, we'll look at that.
We'll take a look at that. Also, our 2-cent history lesson coming up today, and we'll find out if we got a winner in last night's Wednesday night trivia. WNT.
We'll find out.
Yeah, that's what I said. We'll find out.
Okay, well, good.
But first, let's get the local news. Brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
All right, here's what's going on. The Salem South Lyon District Library Board will hold a community meeting later this month to discuss a demand by a group of residents to remove books they deem inappropriate. The Salem South Lyon District Library Board meeting will be held Tuesday, November 29th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. in the Olson Meeting Room at the library. It's being held in reaction to a protest by a group of parents who, after seeing a Pride Month book display in June at the library, demanded the removal of 16 books they deemed to be inappropriate for teens. 15 of those 16 books that have been cited as inappropriate have LGBTQ characters or themes. HometownLife.com quoted one of the parents, Ben Luther, as saying his opposition was not about politics or sexual orientation, but instead about putting explicit material in an area designated for minors, but then added, quote, "It's disgusting." The one resident who spoke at the October 24th meeting in favor of the library was Cassidy Connolly, who said it was up to parents, not the library, to monitor their children, quoting her, "Let us not confuse availability with enticement." Meanwhile, the group South Lyon Pride is asking its members to attend the November 29th meeting and speak out in support of the library and, quote, "fight against censorship in our community," end quote. The two drivers who were killed in a head-on crash Sunday in Howell Township have been identified. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office says 22-year-old Colin Kramer of Fowlerville and 71-year-old Eugene Glavin of Roscommon died as a result of the crash that occurred Sunday afternoon on eastbound I-96 east of Highland Road. Our preliminary investigation indicated a 2005 Honda Civic operated by Kramer was westbound on 96 when he left the roadway, traveled through the median, and struck a Ford Escape operated by Glavin head-on. Kramer was reported deceased at the scene. Glavin died on the way to the hospital. Both Kramer and Glavin were wearing seatbelts. Speed does not appear to be a factor, although alcohol and drug use are still under investigation by the Livingston County Sheriff's Office Traffic Safety Bureau. And a local veteran advocate is among the recipients of the 2022 Governor's Service Awards. The awards, which recognize individuals, businesses, and nonprofit organizations that show a commitment to volunteerism, service, or philanthropy, will be handed out during a ceremony Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Fox Theater in Detroit. Among the 46 recipients, Courtney Parrish of Howell. She won the National Service Impact Award. Parrish co-founded Vet Life with her husband, an Iraq War veteran. The nonprofit organization formed in 2018 to provide veterans with a network of sustainable solutions and resources to improve the quality of civilian life. Since 2018, it has connected tens of thousands of veterans to benefits and helped veterans and their families through difficult times. And that's what's going on.
talk now.
Sweet.
I swear I say. The news has been brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
Mark Binkley could barely drive a car when his dad bought the best jewelry store in town from Mr. Cooper. He spent a lot of time there after school and weekends, enough to know that he loved the jewelry business. Mark and his family were exiting a Sunday church service when Mark saw something more dazzling than any precious stone: Barb Lockery. Successful and beautiful was a combination too great to resist, and around Valentine's Day, a nervous and pale Mark Binkley asked Barb Lockery to be his bride. They were married in the rustic, cozy church sanctuary where they met, and decided to build Cooper and Binkley Jewelers together. You'll see them there every day, working hard just like you, helping people make special times in their lives even more special, with a gift from Cooper and Binkley. They'd love to hear your stories of romance at Cooper and Binkley Diamond Jewelers in lovely downtown Brighton.
We're back.
Yes, we are. And here's the thing.
Oh,
Now,
well, what is the thing?
the thing with these things are popping up about questionable or books that are in question that
Right.
people should be able to read
Right.
depending on their age and everything else.
Right.
Everybody's got their feathers in a big ruffle and their underwear in a bunch.
Right.
And I, who am not a politician, can figure out the best way to solve this issue.
Okay.
All you do is get a little beaded section in the library. And you just
Okay.
say you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to show your ID
Ah.
or an approval from
Right.
a parent to be able to go in there to either check out a book or look at them and see if there's any.
The beaded section.
Well,
'Cause
something like
that
that.
doesn't denote anything.
Well, if it's maybe you don't have a beaded section. Maybe you just call it the question section or whatever you
Right.
want. You know, the R-rated section. The must be PG-17.
Right.
I don't know. You just have a certain.
I
section
appreciate
that-
your attempt at solving this problem.
It
I don't.
kinda makes common
I
sense when
don't
you
think
think-
that's gonna work.
You don't think it's going
No,
to
I
work?
don't
Why?
think so. If you start segmenting out the sections of
Yeah.
only these people can go here and only these people can go there.
Well, no. Anybody can go there. You
sort of
just
lose
need
it.
permission.
Well, then you
That's
can't
all.
go there. That's
Why
what I'm
not?
saying.
Well,
That's
well,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about. So, but who determines? This is where the crux of the problem is. This: who determines what books go in there? That's what the problem is.
I see.
So, if this group goes, I don't want those books, and the other group goes, no, wait, I don't want those books.
Well, so then you have
The next
normal
thing you know
section
is
for
you-
everybody. It's a little section. You got
Right.
you got green eggs and ham,
Right.
And
Okay.
then everything else.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna walk in
So-
the library, you're gonna have green eggs and ham, and that's about it. And everything else is like, you have to whatever. And
Well, I
and then
guess
somebody's gonna go, excuse me, I have a problem with green eggs and ham. They're going, all
That's
right,
right.
well, that's it.
I won't eat them in a house or with a mouse.
Exactly.
Why can't the mouse eat the green eggs and ham, John? I'm pro mouse here.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
All right, I just
I
was trying to
appreciate your
offer
attempt. No,
a
it's a-
little,
it's a-
little common sense.
I'm just
situation.
saying that,
You gotta, everybody's got to
yeah.
get on. Here's your
You know.
participation medal.
Right.
Congratulations.
So people have different, points of view. We'll let that process work out.
And then people will fight some more. Okay, good. So last night in Wednesday night trivia, the
Yes.
question, studies found we spend almost an hour and a half a week doing this. More than twice as long as we did 10 years ago.
Why
we want
is
to
that?
know what it is.
I think that's probably right, but why? When I think about
well, when you think
doing
about the
this,
answer,
yeah.
and we'll get to the answer in
Yeah.
just a little while.
Okay.
Trivia, of course, brought to you by Sold by Tanya Z. We'll get to that soon, but I
Right.
think we
Well,
have
the
to
comfort
check-
is the key to home.
Yeah, it is.
That's her motto.
Are you sure you want to call Rich this morning? We're not sure what side of the bed he is woken up.
I don't know. Yeah, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I guess.
The less you know with Rich Perlberg. We missed last week with Rich, didn't we?
No.
Oh, it was the week before
It was the
that.
week before that.
Yeah, he was.
We had our post-election analysis, and
Yeah.
now we're having a post-election.
Now this is the.
Morning, Mike and John.
Yes,
Well,
good morning.
Rich. So this is the post election coverage
Right.
of the less you know.
Yeah, because I'm really missing all those political ads and mailings and stuff.
Mm.
So I want to keep talking politics.
Well, I'm for one am super glad that there's still a Senate race in Georgia because I was missing all those texts that I was getting, and thank God those are still coming.
It's like I get birthday cards from my insurance agent, and I get texts from candidates and others.
Right.
Lets me know that I'm still important.
There you go.
Right.
You know you're on a list somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind kind of funny, in not necessarily in a laughable way, but as soon as the election is over, pundits and politicians and stuff are ready to announce sweeping new mandates and trends, and I'm not sure if it's all there. It was just a few votes that went
Right.
one way or another way, and it's still pretty tight. I mean, the headlines today are that the House officially is going Republican.
Right, the U.S. House.
The U.S. House, and the Senate is barely Democratic, so it's still a pretty divided electorate out there.
Right.
And even in Michigan, I mean, obviously, Whitmer and Nestle and Benson had huge wins, but the big blue advantage is about as narrow as it can get in the House instead.
It's a couple of seats. Yeah.
Still significant.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, as you know, having the majority means you're in charge of the committees. You get to determine what legislation goes through or not. But you're right, there's slim majorities.
So when it's that tight, that just means that bribery could be going on a little bit more often.
I miss the days when bribery would work. I just don't think it's quite as easy as that. But I think it leads to, and John brings up a good point about the committee chairs and the legislative
The agenda.
not power, but direction.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats in Michigan got to decide, what are they going to do with this newfound power? Are they going to try and be slow and easy and not overplay their hand, or are they going to try and take advantage of the next at least 2 years, probably 4 years, and see what they can accomplish? And I guess I would hope that they try to do something. Why sit on your hands for your next 4 years, you know?
Well, they have their constituency to respond to. So, I mean, the Democrats they've already made it clear, I think, that they're one of their targets originally is going to be right to work. The unions are a big constituency of the Democratic Party. And so, just as the Republicans would respond to their constituency, the Democrats are going to do the same. And so, right to work is something I think they're going to target. And
So let me just stop
Sure.
there. Do you think that is that aware? I mean, we heard of all the horrible things are going to happen, and Republicans are pretty sleazy the way they passed the right to work legislation. They did it in the middle of the night and during the lame duck session. But has it created the horror that everybody thought? I mean, I just haven't seen any negatives about it. I think they're going to be fighting I think it's possible they could be fighting a battle that no one cares about. I mean, maybe they're the raw constituency, but is that where you want to spend your?
I think union members care.
Well,
union members care.
Yeah, but when you look at the state of the state, how many union members compared to the total population are there?
Well,
So
what
is
they
it
would-
worth in the
It's
best
totally
interest.
dwindling.
Right.
You got
But-
in the public sector, you've got a bunch.
Right, but you just hit upon the point. It is dwindling. This would be their argument, playing devil's advocate. Their argument would be, yes, it's dwindling because right to work was passed, and you've now diluted the power of unions, and therefore, people are allowed to receive union benefits, essentially, without having to be a part of the union. And that's wrong. And so if you want to receive union benefits, you should have to be a part of the union. And look, putting that a whole aside, we're not going to get into that argument. I'm just saying that that's something that I think is high on their agenda to do. But you're right that how they carry that out and how that plays across the public sphere will be important in terms of them being able to maintain this majority in 2 years from now. Because look, the House terms are 2 years. So in 2 years from now, the presidential year of 2024, it'll be all up for grabs again.
I just think they got to be pretty careful about what they hang their hat on, because they got 4 years. I mean, maybe only 2, but I think if they put together a package that their supporters and the general public can see the benefits of, that I would hope the House could hold as serve in 2 years. They've got the Senate for 4 years. They just have to accept the fact that likely they're going to lose the governor's house in 4 years. That Michigan tends to switch every 8 years, but
Depends on the candidates.
But if he came up with all sorts of legislation and a political package that was popular, then maybe you can even turn that thing. But if you're going to lose it anyway, why not get something done?
What?
I'm not sure if right to work is the thing that people are going to be screaming about. I just never heard it as an issue in the last 4 years.
Well, whether right to work is a part of it or not, getting the economy kicking will make everyone happy in Michigan. So if they do that, then they'll be rolling.
Well, but it's also keeping in mind a state legislature has limited, effect on an economy that's a national economy. So that's a bigger picture. But
I'm talking about state's economy
but
and creating things that could open up businesses here and entice more business here in Michigan.
right, there's no doubt that they have to, make that effort and be seen as doing that. People want to feel the effect. No one's disputing that. But it is. I sometimes think there is a double standard. When it comes in that the Republicans in Michigan, who have been gerrymandered until this election, have been gerrymandered into their seats, were able to only appeal to their constituencies and not worry about the entire electorate. The Democrats are now in charge, and now there's this expectation. Now you have to appeal to everybody, and it's like, well, look, I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm just saying understand that previously that was not the case. And with the redistricting and the citizens-led redistricting commission, what we have now in Michigan and other states, I hope will look at this, is that whoever has the most votes wins. That's how it should be. So what I'd like to see, if you talk about the Republicans sort of taking back the governorship in 4 years or taking back the House in 2 years, it will not. I would think it's not going to be by appealing to their base. It's going to be about broadening their coalition, broadening their message to attract more middle of the road voters.
Well, that always seems to be the argument, and then guys like Trump come along and narrow it. And
who?
And I think there's some Florida guy who's announced he's running for president, but there's an interesting.
The poor guy in his mansion.
I think is it used to be the idea was all politics is local, and I'm not sure that's the case anymore. You got school board races in which the national CRT and grooming claims are holding forward. So I think Democrats have to work hard to change that narrative. Instead of being on the defensive about book banning and all that, they've got to come up with a positive platform that says, here's what we're doing. We're not getting involved in all this garbage stuff. We're actually doing things to make the life of Michigan better. And I don't know if the economy is going to be that. I think you're kind of at the mercy of the national economy as to how the state government goes. Although, you're right, Mike, the voters will blame the Democrats if the economy isn't good, even though there's not a whole lot that the state legislature can do about it.
Well, that's just an easy solution no matter who's in office. It's like you blame the president or the governor or whatever as far as, well, the economy sucked under them because I'm on this side, so it just becomes an easy blame. But John's right in the sense that...
The thing that's so unusual about it, Michigan state government has something like a $7 billion surplus from all that federal money that came pouring in. And how they use that, and I don't even remember that being discussed in the campaign, either by Dixon or by Whitmer.
Right.
You got a $7 billion one-off bit of money sitting in your bank account. How are you going to spend that? What's the? Are you gonna dole it out to political cronies, or are you gonna do one-off things that'll be able to show the state, here's what we can do when we have control?
Exactly.
I think that's the $7 billion question.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right, and it's incumbent upon the Democrats. They are in charge. They have complete charge of the government. They own the executive, they run the judicial, and they run the legislative branches now. So yeah, it's absolutely fair that they be held accountable to their record in 2 and 4 years. And they have to produce. There's no doubt about it, or people will not, won't respond positively. So, yeah, there's no doubt about that. So you said how much was there?
I think it's $7 billion.
$7 billion.
With a B.
All right.
It's with a B. I mean, it's
that's a lot of zeros there, John.
So $7 billion
divided by the three of us.
Divided by. All right, hold on. Divided by, and I'm not the greatest at math here. All right, divided by 10 million. All right, here's what they do. They can send everybody in the state of Michigan a check for $700.
There you go.
And they'll send it about 3 months before election time.
That's right. There's that bribery I was talking about.
You're laughing about that, but the Republicans will say, why not just reduce taxes?
Right.
And and even though we'd all like to get a check for $700, cumulatively there could be a lot be done with that.
Look, Mike and John have a better idea.
Yes.
We have a better idea. You come out to Christmas in the Ville.
They can advertise on podcasts.
Well, yes, please do that. Or you can come out to Christmas in the Ville on December 3rd.
Well, we're going to top that $700.
Yeah, we're at $700. We got $1,000 we're going to be giving away.
I just think they've gone 40 years without this power, and now they got to decide what they're going to do with it. And it's I don't have any great ideas for them. It's a tough call, but they do have an opportunity that they haven't had in over a generation. And
we'll see what they do with it.
They've been a loyal opposition, and even in their power until Whitmer got elected was even less than that. They could talk, but nobody had to listen to them.
Right.
But now they can act.
I mean,
so now, give us the gavel, show us what we can do.
Well, it's like if you get a superpower, you got to decide to use it for good or evil. And that's what they've got to do.
Okay. Wonder Twins activate.
That's right.
And my superpower is making sure that everybody knows less.
Yeah. Well, and you have achieved that, sir.
Yes.
Excellent
Whether
job.
it's for good or evil, we're not sure.
I think we know.
That's for me to know, and no one else knows.
Right. All right, Rich, as always, we appreciate it. And, we do know less than we did when we started. If anything, we opened up more questions. So.
All right, well, let's get ready. Go Blue.
All right.
We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
All
All right, bye-bye. All right, Rich Perlberg and the Less You Know. In last night's trivia question, brought to you by Tanya Z.
You know, her motto is comfort's the key to home.
Yes, real estate agent, Tanya Circle. The question, we spend about an hour and a half a week doing this,
Right.
which is twice as long as we used to 10 years ago. Want to know what it is, and there could be a lot of reasons for our answers, but let's see what folks were saying in last night's Wednesday night trivia. Commuting. That's a great guess.
Well, yeah.
Part of that could do with traffic, as far as the amount of people commuting to work, but then again, you have construction.
Right.
And then roundabouts that people have to figure out how to use, even though we should know how to use them by now.
Not that hard.
It can be for some,
Just
John.
figure it out. We had a lot of answers that were along the lines of either going through email, checking social media, or texting.
Or clicking on the answers in a trivia question that your computer is doing the little circle thing on.
What'd you do now?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, I see. You're offline.
I'm off.
You got to get back online. Whose crap computer is that? Yeah. All right.
So some of the other answers that came up, as John said, had to do with computers and things that the functions they do.
Yeah. Linda says trying to fall asleep. When you're younger, it's easier, and sometimes you get older, it's lay there and you're like,
Start thinking about what am I going to do for the podcast tomorrow?
right.
What stupid things is Mike going to say on?
Clearly, we don't lose any sleep over that.
Jennifer said brushing her teeth. So I'm not sure why it would take us any longer.
An hour and a half?
An hour and a half a week.
What the hell are you doing? Oh, a week. Oh, that's true. Okay.
An hour and a half a week.
So,
but even then, that's about 15
minutes divided
minutes.
by 7. Yeah, okay, I got to get out the calculator.
Not again.
Okay. Waking up and needing to use the bathroom.
Well, I guess with our audience and our generation, sure, we're spending a little bit more time.
And here's what happens: you wake up,
and you go, "Do I really want to get up?"
You look at the clock, and then you think, "If I can fall back asleep,
I can
then
be later."
Maybe I can. And then you're like, at a certain point, you're like, "No, I got to get up."
Really?
Yeah, fine.
Lisa says choosing what to watch on Netflix. Now we've had a lot more choices,
right?
And really, it's probably a lot more than that. When you're trying to decide what to
ridiculous.
watch, or even if it's not on Netflix, you have shows you've recorded. It's like, what should I watch now?
But if
Am
you
I going to make it through an hour?
Right.
Am I going to, 40 minutes?
We have multiple streaming platforms, and sometimes, and if you don't have a show that I'm coming to watch this show, whatever it is.
Yeah, you don't have.
And
a
you're kind of like,
destination.
you go through and you're like, let's go to Hulu.
Oh,
no, there's nothing there.
Boy, you spend more time picking out the network.
I'm telling you, and then you're going back and you're like, the hell with it. I'll watch St. Elsewhere reruns.
Which platform was that on again? Paying bills, helping kids with homework, waiting for food delivery. We never really. The only thing. What did we? 10 years ago, what did we wait for? The pizza guy, really? And that's about it, right? Who else was
generally?
delivering?
Yeah.
Who else was delivering?
Pre
food?
DoorDash or Grubhub? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now sometimes it's like, okay, sure. Doorbell rings and
It's like, Who ordered what?
Who ordered a donut? Is it something? Really one?
Pot again?
Yeah.
Okay. Beth said using Google.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go down that Google rabbit hole, and you Google something, and then it leads to another question.
Right.
You go, all right, now I got to find out what that meant or who that is.
Right.
And
or you
move
see a
on.
video, and then you watch one of them, and then you're
Next thing you know,
10 videos in, and
you're on TikTok.
What the hell am I watching?
What was I looking up?
Jesse says pooping.
Jesse's getting more fiber these days.
Molly responded to Jesse and said, like the commercial says, women poop.
If you're not, it's time to see the doctor.
That's true. That's another commercial. Paying bills.
Actually, I think paying bills has probably gotten a lot.
With the online.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just automatic pay and it's done. You don't have to worry about it. And
but
you don't really think
your wife, like my wife, handles the actual finances.
That's right.
Right. Because if we did,
we'd be in trouble.
we'd be living in this basement.
When the visa statement comes, there's a bunch of highlighted things that I have to account for.
Oh, dude.
And depending on the month,
right,
there may be a whole lot of highlighting going on.
I may get a text. What is this?
Yeah. What were you doing at the landing strip? A news
story? I was in airport. I was buying an airplane.
That's right. Looking into plane costs. So the answer, and I don't know.
I think it's true, but I wouldn't have thought of this until I'm like, I think that's true. I am spending more time doing this.
The answer is grocery shopping. Now, sometimes I think it could be because you're waiting for the person in front of you that doesn't know how to work the self-scan.
Well, that is...
or they're talking on their phone while they're doing their self-scan, or even if they're in the checkout line and they have X amount of coupons and they brought their own bags and, it just tends to drag out, or say they want to write a check.
Oh, that's a...
Then you have the cashier that's like, oh my God, I've never seen a check before because I'm 18. So,
what is this piece of paper you're writing on?
Is this an IOU? So you have that. Then you have, the person who doesn't make their list in order of the way the store goes.
I think you hit the thing about the self-checkout, though. There's less, because self-checkout can take longer, especially if you have a bigger order, and then there's less, if you have a bigger order and you're like, well, I'd like to go through a regular line, but then you look at those lines, because they only got like one or two actual checkouts open, you're like, oh, crap.
So when they have those, when you have the self-checkout, though,
right,
isn't it the time when you're in a hurry where something isn't ringing up right, and then your light goes on,
and then you wait,
and you're like,
and they don't have,
and the person that's supposed to be is off talking to another coworker about what they're going to do that weekend,
or they're dealing with these 7 other things that are lit up, and you're like, really? Okay.
So that could be why it takes longer.
Yeah. Sherry Kendall was our correct.
She was the one who got it?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to Sherry.
Congratulations.
You win bragging rights for today.
Yes.
Trivia brought to you by, sold by Tanya Z.
What's her motto?
Comfort is the key to home.
What's her website?
soldbytanyaz.com.
Okay, great.
So that's our trivia question for today.
Right. Done.
All right. Now.
Done.
Well, listen, I've solved the library problem.
Thank you. I've solved the deficit problem. We're all going to get a check for $700. You're welcome.
It'll trickle back into the economy.
I'm
and
sure people will spend it on things that are appropriate.
Big screen TV.
Landing strip.
All right. Today is November 17th.
It is. And you know who's been with us since the very first day, Mike? Since the day we started all the way till this day, November 17th?
Yes. Rocky the dog has been with us this whole time. And Rocky,
he occasionally leaves us presents.
Out a fire,
yeah.
And he knows when the garage doors now work.
Well, that's true.
That little Rocky.
Yeah, he's quite the...
Firehouse Doors has been with us from the get-go.
That's who I was talking about.
I know.
They're the OG sponsor here.
Yes, they are.
We are brought to you by Firehouse Doors, after all. And they've been serving Livingston County residents for going on 25 years.
Smidgen away from 25.
They are family-owned, and they strive to treat each customer like family. Veteran-owned. Mike Witt, a proud U.S. Air Force veteran. They are your one-stop shop for residential, commercial, and rolling steel overhead door needs. And for the past nearly 22 years, Firehouse Doors has been Livingston County's only authorized distributor for CHI overhead doors.
That's right.
Call Firehouse Doors today, 810-599-7480.
We've been practicing rounding up before the show, so that's why John
they've been here.
rounded up.
We're getting close to our anniversary.
Yeah, we are. No gifts needed.
No, that's okay.
We're going to save the money.
Yeah, we're doing something different. We're going to give you money.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Did we mention we're giving away $1,000 cash at Christmas in the Ville?
I'm not sure if we told anybody about that.
Let's
yet.
let them
We
know.
should probably do that.
Hey, we're giving away $1,000 cash.
Christmas in the Ville.
Yes.
Saturday, December 3rd. Downtown Fowlerville. Of course, the parade and all the other festivities going
Right.
on. We will have a tent set up
Yes, we will.
with the new hopper that I'm going to go get on Friday
Amazing.
to put your entries in, one entry per person.
Right.
If we find you cheating,
Right.
you will get a hand slapping.
Right. Must be 18 over to win.
Yes.
And then on the Monday following, December 5th, we will draw out the winner.
Right here in this area here where Cougar will be. We'll have Cougar draw the winner.
Well, yeah, of course. She's our official drawer. So, yeah. December 3rd.
Cougar will put her hand in the hopper.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that Christmas in the Ville, December 3rd, is going to be kind of your premier Christmas event in Livingston County.
It's going to be the hottest one, that's
I
for
think
sure.
so. Well, it's the only one.
And I hear the
$1,000
MC,
cash,
the
yeah.
assistant MCs are pretty good too.
Well, I've heard that too. Well,
if we don't say so ourselves,
yeah,
we're going to help Steve McDermott from the MC stand.
MC McDermott.
Yes.
His albums.
He's gotta go on.
Well, he's going to drop a new one soon, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
He's got a couple backup singers. All right.
Yes.
Today is November 17th, our 2-cent history lesson. Today is Electronic Greeting Card Day. Do you appreciate a good electronic greeting card?
A good one.
A good one.
Sometimes they're just, it's like, this is stupid, and just because it moves, it's not really funny.
All right. Take that off my list.
Some are funny, some are not.
The Great American Smokeout happens today. Put your butts out.
Has a different meaning.
Yeah, now you know.
Depending on where you are.
It's Homemade Bread Day.
Oh.
Remember when everybody was making bread during COVID?
Yo, yeast was in short supply.
That's right. That's why it
You
took
got
us
some
so
yeast?
long to
Hey,
go
buddy,
shopping.
want some yeast?
National Baklava Day.
Baklava.
Baklava. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
Not as much fun to eat.
No, I think you don't like baklava.
I don't like baklava.
Oh, some good stuff.
It's Take a Hike Day.
We've been told to take a hike
Yes.
many times. We have.
We were asked to take a hike back in January.
Oh, we did. And we've been hiking ever since.
And it's National Unfriend Day. If there's somebody on your friends list, it's time to say goodbye, rid you of that poison.
Now, have you ever noticed when you've been unfriended because the person that you knew you were friends with, and then Facebook will suggest them as a friend, and you're like, I thought we were friends. And they're like, hey.
Do you ask to be a friend again?
No. You dropped it out? Hell with you. Yeah.
November 17th, 2-cent history lesson brought to you by Oakland Insurance, our good friend Drew Goebel.
Yes. Give them a call today, 248-647-2500.
1869, the Suez Canal opened in Egypt. It linked the Mediterranean and the Red Seas. Red kind of mixed in with the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Looked really cool.
Made it pinkish. Yeah, it's the red mixed in. Sorry.
1968, NBC cut away from the final minutes of the New York Jets Oakland Raiders game to begin a TV special. It was Heidi.
Yes.
Raiders came from behind to beat the Jets 43-32, and somebody was looking for a job.
Yeah, the executive who said, yeah, this game's over.
Raiders,
Yeah, let's get out
Nobody
of here.
cares.
Yeah. Everyone's waiting to see Heidi.
I wanted to see John Madden win that game.
Well, that was before Madden.
Well, he was the coach, wasn't he? For the
Not
Raiders?
68. I
Sure.
don't think so. Well, let's check. All
We
right.
got to get the team
We'll
on
find
that.
out. All right.
We're going down the Google hole again.
Here we go.
Hang on, everybody. John Madden.
I didn't think he started that early. I thought he was more...
That was pre-Telestrator.
69 to 78.
Oh, it was,
so
so-
just missed it. That's earlier, but that is earlier than I thought. I
It was
thought
the guy before Madden.
Okay.
Forget his name. And salt and pepper hair. 1973, U.S. President Richard Nixon told an Associated Press managing editors meeting in in Orlando, Florida. People have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
That's what President Nixon
And
said.
and you know,
when a politician tells you something, you know it's the truth.
oh, that's what I'm not a crook. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Someone get the books.
And then you fast forward ahead, about 20 years, and somebody says, I did
not have sex relations with that woman. Uh-oh.
I didn't inhale.
Right.
There's all
that.
So, yeah, you can trust politicians.
Well, yeah. John Rauch.
Yeah, old Rauch.
John Rauch was the Raiders
He wasn't
coach.
a politician. He was a Raiders coach.
Yeah. So,
1984, wham! Started a 3-week run at number 1 with their single, Wake Me Up Before You Go. I do the jitterbug.
Yeah.
That was a big poppy song.
It was. Big hit.
You can't help but
It's a
sing along with
mid-'80s
it.
classic.
1991, the first TV commercials for condoms aired.
What?
They were advertising rubbers, John. 1991.
Rubbers. Okay, Grandpa.
It aired.
You got a rubber, son?
It aired. Grandpa bought a rubber. Okay.
Used it. No.
It was on the Fox network.
Yeah.
Fox TV. During the show, are you ready?
Married with Children?
Herman's head.
Appropriate.
I kid you not.
Well, it's appropriate.
Herman's head. Was anybody watching Herman's Head?
I remember
I
the
don't
show,
remember
but
the show.
I do remember the show. There were a bunch of characters in this guy's head. But
Yeah.
okay. How appropriate, though.
1999, Mariah Carey was forced to abandon a performance on Rome's historic Spanish Steps after crowds of tourists swamped her. They swamped her,
They did?
They were Mariah swampers.
Yeah, they were. I was one of them.
She took shelter in a local store before being escorted away with police to safety. And for those who care, Mariah has recently been trying to get the title of Queen of Christmas.
Right.
And she did not get that title.
No, she did not.
They said, no, you're not the Queen of Christmas. Sorry,
Although,
Mariah.
All I Want for Christmas is still the last Christmas song to achieve a number 1 ranking. New Christmas song. So she still holds that title. And it is now.
20.
It's part of Christmas. It's part of the Christmas canon. You have to play that now,
Yes.
whether you like it or not.
It's a catchy little
been
ditty.
ordered. Actually, I prefer the video. Little elf stocking.
You all right over there?
Sorry. Are we on?
And finally, it was on this day in 2010.
Yeah.
Researchers trapped 38 anti-hydrogen atoms. It was the first time humans had trapped antimatter.
Oh.
Where's it at now?
Strand.
Is it in a jar?
Did they take it home? Yeah.
Is it
Where
in one of
is
those Ghostbuster things?
Yeah, that's where it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in the fire station. In the containment pod.
So if it starts seeping,
Yeah.
this antimatter,
Annie Potts is in charge and she's watching it right now. Yeah.
be on the lookout.
Okay.
That was 12 years ago,
the
2010. That's your 2-cent history lesson.
Brought to you by Drew Goebel of Oakland Insurance and Michigan-based Frankenmuth Insurance, who believe the best relationships are honest, upfront, and fair. You can depend on Oakland Insurance and Frankenmuth Insurance to personally work with you on your insurance needs. Drew Goebel of Oakland Insurance, he's the guy to call, 248-647-2500.
I got some great news. For those that are having relatives over for Thanksgiving or the holidays, maybe you'll break out the Scrabble board. Maybe you're not watching the Lions game. Maybe you just want to get away from everybody and say, let's play Scrabble. Well,
Sure.
there have been some new words that have been allowed to be used in Scrabble.
Really?
Yes. They haven't updated the word list, usable words, for Scrabble since 2018. There's been a 4-year gap years
All right.
of words that have not been allowed that now are allowed.
Among them are?
Jedi. Doesn't that seem strange that Jedi was not a word that you could use in Scrabble?
Well, it was a title from a movie, but you're right. It's now leaked into normal usage.
Sitch is now allowed.
Oh, I got a sitch
What's
going
the
on.
sitch?
What's the sitch?
We got the
Yeah.
sitch. convo. Now you can use convo. You don't have to put out the whole conversation. We're having a convo. So now you can use that in Scrabble.
Add a Y and you got a convoy.
Adorbs.
No.
Adorbs.
No.
You can use it now.
You can, but
people use it in regular sentences.
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
All right, here's one. Subtweet. What exactly is a subtweet?
Well,
Is that where like you tweet and then you have a sub meaning, or is it like you have
that's-
somebody tweet for you?
That's a good question. I
like-
guess I don't really know off the top. Here, let me move off the Raiders coaches page.
Okay, good.
So,
You can also use whelp. Whelp.
yeah, here it is, right in the dictionary.
There it is. Thingy. You can use thingy with an IE.
I see. It's a post that refers to a particular user without directly mentioning them.
Oh.
It's a form of furtive mockery or criticism.
Yeah, we don't do that on this show.
No, not at all. Did you check the app? How'd that happen?
You can also use skeezy, slushy, and yeehaw.
Slushy?
Slushy.
That should have been out
with
there for
two
a while.
E's. Two E's. So you can double up on the E's. That way I think you get more points. I don't play Scrabble, so what do I know?
But a slushy, I mean, those have been around forever. You call them slushy, it seems.
Unfollow can also be used.
Oh, yeah.
Because before it was like, no, you can't use it. You can use follow, but you can't use unfollow. Now you can get the extra points with the U in the end. There's a few more, but we don't need to get into it.
No,
Those are just a few,
well,
a few of the
thanks.
biggies. Except for Zadonk.
The Zadonkadonk?
Zadonk.
What about Badonk?
I don't think that's on
The
here
old
yet.
badonkadonk.
We got the Sitch, the Convo, and the Zadonk. Zadonk.
Well, when are they going to get Badonkadonk on there? They got to
Maybe in another 4 years.
tack it on the end.
There you go.
Hey, now.
If your car is going Zadonk or Badonk,
Or a Badonkadonk. If your car's Badonkadonk is having trouble.
and you don't know what the Badonkadonk is,
well, you know, who put
Murphy's
the
fam.
Badonkadonk?
Shamalama ding dong. Stop by Murphy's Family Auto for all your auto repair needs, vehicle maintenance needs as well. Get ready for winter. Since 2011, Murphy's Family Auto has been specializing in car and truck care, including engine and transmission work, electrical services, heating and cooling issues, you name it. Your brakes too. You're going to need them. Call Murphy's today, 517-552-3040. They're open on Saturdays from 8 to 1. And if you say, Bedonkadonk, Mike and John sent me, you'll get 5% off. You don't need the Bedonkadonk.
You probably don't, but if you
Just
want
say,
to,
Mike
just
and
for
John.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See if Glenn or Dennis knows.
Yeah.
Murphy's Family Auto.
They're going to be like,
Your car knows.
why do you people keep calling and saying weird words?
Like Bedonkadonk.
Yeah, so.
Where's the donk?
Yeah.
Not really sure what that one means. Coming up tomorrow.
Zadonk?
Zadonk. What does Zadonk mean?
We didn't know, right?
Well, I don't know.
How's it spelled? I want to know.
Zedonk.
Oh, okay. That's what
Zedonk. Maybe it's a French donkey.
Zedonk
Zedonk
is a cross between a zebra and a donkey.
Oh, there you go.
But that's with two E's.
No, one E. Zedonk.
But
Zadonk?
well, no, it's okay. Or they're using it with one. I guess that's what they're referring
there you
to.
go.
A Zadonk is an animal in the horse family. Cross between a zebra and a
Try
donkey.
and explain that to drunk uncle while you're playing Scrabble after Thanksgiving dinner.
Stupid Zadonks! They're coming across the border.
You can't cross a zebra and a
You
donkey.
can't do that. It's not right. It's against God's law.
We're going to take the book out of the library about that Zadonk. Can't have that crap.
No Zadonk books.
No.
They'll see.
Screw the seahorses, too.
Okay.
All right, enough of that. We don't want to get all tied up.
No,
in that kind of
we're
stuff.
not.
I already solved that problem.
Yes, you did.
An hour ago. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. I want to remind you about Richter and Associates Property Management before we go. Licensed real estate brokers, rental property experts in Livingston, Genesee, and Oakland counties. They've been doing this for over 40 years. It says here 40 plus
years in the
If it was
business.
40 minus years, that'd be different.
Well, no, that'd be, I don't know how you have less negative 40 years. That's why they have 40 plus years.
They go back in time, hop in the
Oh,
DeLorean
right.
and come back here, and there we are. Richter and Associates. Call them today, 517-540-9560. Or you can always check out their website.
It's RichterAssoc.com.
I've heard that before.
RichterAssoc.com. Take us out, Cougar.
Mike and John got it going on.
You've been giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.
Time to get up and start the show.
Yeah.
All right.
We're post-show now. You know, our huge post-show audience. Is anyone even here? You know, we should do a giveaway in the post-show just to see if anyone actually makes it this far.
You want to do a giveaway?
Sometimes I wonder. I don't know.
Well, we'll think about that.
I can give away something. How about our stale cigars?
I was just thinking about the cigars.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what.
Well, on the Great American Smokeout Day, we're going to give out.
How appropriate. No, you're right. This is perfect. Okay. You want these two stale cigars that have not been in a humidor for many, many years, just been laying around?
Yeah. Hey, but they are sealed.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they're freshness sealed.
This one's kind of old.
Well, it's kind of mostly sealed.
Yeah. Untouched by human hands, though. They've not come out of the seal. So, if you would like these two cigars.
Wait a minute. Is this a Clinton? No, it's not.
That would have been out of the seal.
All right.
Well, now no one wants it. Okay.
Never mind.
It's, you know.
If you want them.
If you want the cigars.
First one to message us.
Yeah. You got to email. You got to email us, Mike and John, for the win. That's the number 4 at gmail.com. And say, I want those cigars.
There you go. Great stocking stuffers.